this computer. Okay, dogs. First section. And what did we think?
I thought it was really good. I was kind of hooked. So I read it all today. And
yeah, I liked it.
I thought it was really interesting. It kind of was like, oh, this is going to be one of those books that kind of get you really thinking, like about life and choices and, you know, your path.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty interesting so far.
Yeah, same. I thought it was really good. I read it in 2 days. I like separated it in half. But I wanted to keep reading the first day. So it really got me hooked. And that's saying something because I've been really behind.
I like that it was easy to read through.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know what it was because they mentioned a lot of characters, and usually when they do, I get confused with who's who and who's what, but somehow it was nice and clear, and it kept you engaged to the point that I'm like, you know what, I don't hate it. And even though she was like all depressed and I was like, oh my God, pobrecita, it wasn't that bad. So I like it.
Yeah, I agree. It was kind of like lighthearted, even though the topic was so depressing.
Yeah. Like right from the bat, like a few hours before she decides to die. And I'm like, what are we reading? Oh my God. But it doesn't feel as dark.
We've definitely read darker books.
Yeah.
I like the descriptive language too. To live is to suffer and things like that. I was like, dang, that's kind of deep.
And I wonder if it's because she's into philosophy and Henry David Thoreau, so maybe the author kind of tries to play into that with his writing. But I also like, I mean, it's a little confusing, but I like that the chapters have names. I mean, I would have liked maybe numbers.
Yeah.
Just to keep track, but I think it helps kind of give us an idea what the chapter's about. Because I don't think, since I've joined, I don't think other books have done that yet. But I know it's common.
I think it makes it more kind of like a narrative, and you don't really know what's real and what's not as you move forward in the book as well. I think that maybe he took off the numbers on purpose, but I like it.
It's also interesting because, like, when we said, oh, we're stopping here about the cat dying, I totally forgot about the cat until the end, and I was like, oh, like full circle, you know? And at first you're like, oh, shoot, the cat died. What in the world's going on? But then, like, it's different. It's not what I expected at all. Just kind of.
You picked a good stopping point, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, perfect, because it's like it goes through like her first story.
Yeah. That was just meant to be.
I know, that's weird.
Perfect.
Did you guys, so when I started reading it, and maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention, but I thought she was in the United States.
No, they're in England, right?
And then I based like my whole picture around what was happening around the United States, and then when like subtle things like her grammar, like saying mom.
Yeah.
The punctuation too.
She's like
Some of this slang. Even the newspaper shop or the bookstore called it like a news agent, and I had to like Google that. Like, what's a news agent?
I think I noticed, I don't remember what book previously we read, and someone was like, oh, did you guys realize it was a different accent? And I think everyone did. Was it Chloe Brown?
Yeah, it was Chloe Brown.
That's the other one.
I'd never caught on to the accent, and then right on like page 7 for me, they're talking about like the sidewalk or something, and they called it beside the curb, but they spelled it Kerb, and that's when I'm oh, we are not in the US. I don't know where we're at, and I know I should be thinking of an accent, but I'm like, it's not the US.
I honestly didn't catch that. I thought she was like, the move was so major because it was London, and I thought they were in the US. But damn, that makes more sense.
Yeah, I was trying to look up where Bedford was.
I was gonna do that, and I got lazy.
Yeah, like where's Oxfordshire? Like how far is that?
I don't know if this is a dumb question.
There's no dumb questions.
No dumb questions.
Like, he's narrating it, and that's why there's only single quotation marks, not double quotation marks.
Oh, I think it's just because it's British.
Okay.
But Spanish does that too sometimes. They use different types of quotations. I think anyways, but who knows?
That makes sense. I just was thrown if I was missing something.
Yeah, in Spanish I've seen like the 2 arrows instead of quotation marks, and I've seen just like the long dashes. And the long dashes confuse me more than the little arrow things, but eventually you get used to it. But my library kind of reminded me too, close your ears if you don't want Harry Potter spoilers, but of one of the last books, Katie, where it's like he's dead but he's not dead, and then he finds Dumbledore and he sees the baby Voldemort. And so it's kind of like the in-between place. That's kind of what I was thinking the library is.
I forgot what they called it too, but at King's Cross, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was at King's Cross. Yep. I wonder if she's really dead too, because how they said you don't go to death, death comes to you. Maybe she'll wake up and have like a second chance to, you know, think about all her regrets. And I liked how the first one with Dan, I was talking to Rico about it, and I said she regretted not marrying this guy and like making him happy, but then in this like life that she was in, he ends up being kind of like a prick.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, he's mean. So in a way, maybe she will find out that some of her regrets actually were good things, instead of, you know, thinking about them and thinking she's a failure for not doing them.
Like, she won't end up in one of those lives. She'll continue on with the one she has and just realize it's just what was meant to be, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And when everything started falling apart for her, it kind of reminded me, I don't know if you guys have seen the really scary, disturbing Joker movie.
Yes. I love that movie.
Like, his life just
Yeah, I
goes
love it.
absolute shite, and he ends up the way he does because he's got dealt a bad hand, and how tough life can be. It just reminded me of that movie.
Yeah, I agree. It's like when people get a hard shake in life, and sometimes it is really sad because not everyone can get a helping hand, or sometimes people really don't have any family or friends to help them out. A big feeling of disconnect.
Yeah, I felt bad for her when she was at her apartment scrolling through like her Facebook and social media, and no one was talking to her. And she's looking at other people's lives.
Yeah, and she like reached out to her friend and no response.
I know. And it's like, you know, when you get a text from a friend and then you're like, oh yeah, I'll reply, or like, it's kind of like, I'm not saying that every text is important, but imagine like you could be the one.
Yeah.
Like, keeping that one person from, you know, pushing over to like, but it's crazy. I did feel bad because it was the one little boy that she wasn't going to teach anymore. And then the man who's like, oh, I don't need you anymore. Someone's going to drop off my pills. And that was like her last straw, like, pobrecita. I'm just like, oh, man.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah. I was like, oh.
But maybe that's like the push she needs to go back to school how she wanted to you know,
to
move
live
away.
herself.
Yeah.
Because based on that regret with Dan, I mean, really she was doing it for him. But it's, in reality, she never wanted that.
Yeah, I
not
agree.
to realize that it wasn't for her. And it's just, it really pissed me off that he like cheated on her, right?
Yes. I was
like 3 times. And I was
like, the moment she realized too, she's like, could I make this work? And then when she realized, wait a minute, I was like, oh, she even talked to her.
Yeah.
And she had no idea. She's like, so how was it? And she's like, it was fine. I was like, oh, how's so and so? And she's like, he's good. He said hi. He's like, really? And I was like, once she realized, she's like the fuck, like, She probably just felt like stupid. I can just picture myself in that situation and feeling like I literally just made a fool out of myself. Like she knows what's happening. I don't, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely.
I
That's
wish
probably what she realized. Like, you know what? He's not worth it.
Yeah, he seemed gross, honestly.
He's like one of those people who it's never his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like with his drinking and why he cheated.
Oh, yeah.
Still wearing a shirt from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So gross.
I wonder if in every life she's not going to know any of the background information, because I feel if that was me, I would be stressing out. Like, you know, who is this person? And, you know, I would just be like really, I think my mind would go into overdrive just trying to figure everything out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's doing a pretty good job at faking it.
Mm-hmm. The regret book was interesting.
Yeah, could you imagine having all your regrets in one huge book and then
It made me start
picking
thinking,
one?
like, what do I regret?
I
Yeah.
feel like she had an excessive amount of regrets, though. I feel like they were all like little stuff. Like, I regret not eating that. I regret not going for a walk. You know, they're all like little things.
Yeah, I wonder how large my book would be, is what I was thinking when I saw that.
Oh, no,
Yeah, because some of those are just trivial regrets.
Mm-hmm.
right.
No, like what would you change if you could change one thing? But then what if that would change like the path to where you are?
I've
Yeah, like make it worse.
thought about
Right.
that, like in terms of college, because I can't even remember what I was gonna say. I blanked out. Basically, if I had gone to Cal Poly from high school, like how different would it have been? I would have been a different major. I wouldn't have met anyone. I mean, maybe I would have, but
You
Who
might have met me.
what happened?
I said you might have met me.
Maybe I might have. I would have been business, which would have been different. But it's like, see that those. I don't regret it, but it's like one of those what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the part where I think the Mrs. Elm,
Oh yeah.
the fake librarian Mrs. Elm in the library was talking about decisions, and then I was thinking about how many decisions we make a day. It's just all day making decisions, little ones, big ones.
Especially as teachers.
Or even like, when do I decide to, I don't know, making the decision when to go brush your teeth or like go to bed,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that kind of tripped me out, thinking about that.
We make over 1,000 decisions each day, I think.
Yeah, what to wear, what to eat.
What to say.
So when they were talking about the book of regrets, and there's like that huge list of the regrets she has,
Mm-hmm.
and we already went through one. Well, which one do you think is going to have the most impact on her decision of whether to live or die?
And like, what do you think will be her next one she wants to undo?
I think maybe one. Oh, go ahead.
I think it'd be like with her brother and the band.
Mm-hmm.
Like nowadays, especially that Dan didn't support her.
Yeah.
She did say it gave her anxiety. Like she had fainting spells or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
I
just
feel like she's gonna realize like this was too much,
Mhm.
too much pressure.
Yeah, I think the band will be the next one, but I feel like something with her parents, like
that's-
maybe not leaving her mom
Mhm.
to go to London or something.
Or like that's true.
I wonder if there's some that she's not even aware of right now. Like maybe because of when her parents died, maybe she's repressing it. And then she'll open a book and then she'll be like, whoa, I didn't even know this was a thing, you know?
I wonder if, because I feel like one of the major themes is mental health. And she even said, like, listing the things she hasn't done, she didn't try to become a good or truly happy person, which I don't know, that sounds a little weird to me, because you can try to find happiness, but maybe talking about her getting the help she needs through everything she's been through.
Yeah, and like even her and Dan, he said something like they're going to counseling or something about a counselor.
Oh, that's
Oh
right.
yeah, he did.
I don't know if she was doing counseling like just herself.
I think one will definitely be her going back to school too and deciding on a career that she wants to pursue.
I also thought the one about becoming a mother, because Mrs. Elm said that's one that changes as one of her regrets.
Yeah.
But if she becomes a mom, who would it be with?
Herself. She doesn't need a man.
Uh-huh.
She can get
No,
artificial.
I mean, yes, but do you think she would do that? I don't know.
I guess the way she seems, probably not. Like I feel like she would want support.
Yeah.
Maybe she just happens to run across or stumble
Someone
into
else.
the love of her life.
But if it's because doesn't she bring up this guy that was in the band with her?
Right.
Yeah, Robbie.
I was thinking of him.
Yeah.
I was thinking it could be him, but
He has a girlfriend, but maybe they have a history.
yeah. I mean, it seemed the way that, at least the way I read it, there was like some tension there, and I'm like, something's here.
Yeah.
Was the trip to Australia also a regret because she ended up not going with her friend?
Yeah,
I think that might be a big one
Mm,
because she needs that connection.
true.
and that's what she means her husband.
Maybe. I found it interesting
Australian.
that she decided to choose Dan as her first one, like thinking that she needed him, thinking she needed that one love, and then
Maybe
obviously wasn't it.
that's a thing too. Like, do you really need your SO for happiness, or like, is that like a nice, like, is it in cohesion with your happiness, or like, do you actually need it to be happy? You know, like, does it add to your happiness, or is it required for your happiness?
Yeah, I think it really supports the whole, like, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I'll be happy if I have a partner. I'll be happy once I'm married. I'll be happy, you know? But I think it really emphasizes the whole, be happy with yourself first, and then, you know, if someone comes along, then, you know, share the happiness, but don't necessarily make them your happiness.
She even says that in the beginning, doesn't she? Like when she called off her wedding 2 days before, she did it because she was unhappy. She's like, am I really going to marry this person? Like, she wasn't completely content with the relationship. And even then, when she goes back and like, because she's like, it's one of her biggest regrets that she called off her wedding, and then realizing this isn't, like, she made the right decision by not marrying him. Like, she really listened to herself, but she like almost like second guessed herself, like maybe he's something I want, but you know, I feel like that's going to be the same thing with all her regrets. I think we mentioned that in the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah,
like she's going to go through all these books and realize that all these were great decisions, and she can only move forward, you know, with her current life and change what it is that she likes.
Like maybe once you're obviously you already made the choices, and then you're encountering like these certain difficulties, you forget that there was a reason why you made that one choice. You could have done the other, but there's always that one thing. And I feel like because time passes by and you forget every detail, I think that's what's gonna happen for most of them. I think
sometimes
there's a reason why she picked what she picked.
Yeah, sometimes time can help kind of mask why, like if there's something negative, say for example about a person like Dan, and like I felt like she kept making excuses for him, like, oh, but he's so supportive and so nice, and she had this distance from him. But then in her life, when she was in such close proximity, that's kind of when she was like, wait a minute, like, yeah, there was a reason, you know?
Yeah.
That happens with.
And I think she mentioned it about her parents. Like she was questioning, like, why did her parents get married if they were even in love? And I think maybe her regrets sometimes stem from society. Like she's a young woman. She should be married by now, have children, have a stable job. So thinking that she made wrong decisions because she's not there in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Society expectations, another theme.
I like how she was like, what? I want a baby?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
me?
And that's interesting because it's like, obviously for Dan, this is the normal world. And she's coming in and questioning everything. And she's like, wait, what? Wait, what? And I don't know. I thought it was hilarious because she can't really be asking like regular questions, like the typical, like, wait, why are we doing this? Wait, we're in therapy. Wait, you cheated? Who is this girl? You know?
Yeah.
And to think that in like, if you think about it, if that was like, if she would have made the decision to stay in that relationship, she was, if you really think about it, she was obviously very insecure that she stayed in that marriage to begin with. Like even after he cheated and like, you know, who suggested therapy to work on the relationship? Like, but she pops in like, you know, later in that relationship and realizes like, what the fuck? Like why are you still here? And she's like, this isn't working. But, you know, before that, how he was seeing it and like how time was going, it was, you know, she chose to be there. It's interesting. I kind of forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Like coming from the outside in, she's like, WTF? It's like a terrible relationship I'm in. Like, and knowing, yeah, the other option for her being alone, I think she agrees is better than that. But now that she's in the relationship, like clearly that other life, she's trying to make it work. But yeah, what's the point?
And again, maybe that stems from the mental health aspect because she was, you know, kind of on the edge at the beginning of the book with her mental health and like being late for work, and thinking, well, I'm unhappy now, so maybe if I had married Dan, I wouldn't be unhappy. And then she realizes, like you said, Crystal, that's not what was going to make me happy. But I also, because I think one of her regrets is not saying that she loved her dad before he passed.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that will help her heal. Or maybe she'll come to the realization she didn't have to do it before. She could have done things after too.
I wonder if they haven't mentioned much about the relationship, the dad and her, right? Besides the fact that he died and she regrets this. But like, I wonder if the relationship was healthy or if they hadn't talked for forever and then he just passed and she's like, well, I should have connected with him or I should have done, you know, this and that. Because like for her to, I mean, yeah, I guess you do have a regret of like saying like your last things to him, but I feel like it wasn't that great.
And he's the one who passed first, right? And when she got the news in the library. Yeah. And then her mom passed later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we don't know much
the other
about.
Didn't he die of like a no? Wait, is that somewhere else?
Yeah, do we know how he died? Or she had cancer? Oh yeah,
her mom had cancer. Yeah.
I guess we don't know much about their relationship, right?
So based on like her regrets, I feel like you can assume that it was not that great. But then maybe it was pretty good for it to affect her really bad, because I think she was like numb and just like sad since then. And then like when her mom obviously hit her again, and she was just, I feel like that was one of the main changes for her. So maybe it was a good relationship, and she just wished she was a bit even like closer. Or maybe like they had an argument like towards the end.
Mm.
I think she mentioned something about the arguments with her dad.
I wonder if it was about swimming.
Oh, that's true.
Oh yeah, I wonder if she kept swimming, what would have happened?
And I wonder if he was, because I think they said he had a heart attack on the rugby field because he was maybe a coach at the school, and maybe he was like pushing her to the swimming, or they had arguments about it. But I don't know.
Oh, I forgot the swim one.
Mm-hmm.
I regret. It's so crazy. She had all this stuff she did like so well. It seems like could have been an Olympic swimmer. Could have been signed to a record label.
What was it? Glaciologist or?
Yeah. So much potential.
Mm-hmm.
And what was with her
she's
college?
so insecure.
She was gonna get a master's.
I think I agree about the insecurity, and I think maybe part of the reason she was so close to the end at the beginning is her insecurity, and that maybe she didn't see that she had that much self-worth because so many things were going bad and she was losing so many things, and so because she didn't have much self-worth, that's what drove her to take the pills. I also wonder if every book she goes into, she's going to have a cat named Voltaire.
Voltaire,
yeah. Like the first, the second.
Hello, both the second.
9 lives. She'll have 9 lives with her cat.
Ooh.
Wow,
we might get 9 sections. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cute.
A different breed of cat.
I was just gonna mention that.
Seemed cool. It was a Burmese. Those are cute.
I found that interesting how she had like a tabby or something.
Yeah.
And then you get a different one, same name. I was like, oh. I wonder if in the end she ends up with the same tabby.
The same cat? That'd be cute.
What if the cat is like magical and it jumps from world to world with her?
I was thinking it might have some significance to Voltaire and his writings, text. And so I wanted to look, I mean, I read only in college and high school when we had to. I wonder if some of his philosophy.
The freedom of speech was the like iconic one, right? Like, I may not agree with what you will say, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it, or something like that. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I think the books are green because maybe she's going to grow or be renewed, right? Because it says all the books are green, but they're the same height with different widths.
Except for gray.
Oh yeah, not
it's
that
negative.
And then the different widths maybe will be like if it's a super fat book, she's going to be in there a while, and maybe it's like a bigger regret than like something narrow, like, oh, I wish I would have eaten that cupcake or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like the thicker ones are where she's going to be the longest. Or like, first I was thinking before they just described everything, I was like, oh, the thicker one, she lived longer, and the other one's like, you know, she actually died for like super quick or something. But then I'm like, okay, maybe it's more like as she's going through these different books. I think the time that she's in each of them.
I also wonder what the different shades of gray or green, because she said some were darker green.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean it's gonna be more depressing or more disappointing?
I can see the disappointment being a correlation with the color. Since Dan's was like dark, right? Like a dark green.
Like a moss, maybe. I wonder if there's going to be a different color book at the end, like maybe a white one, and she'll get a second chance.
I can see that.
She'll be given a white one and a black one.
An empty one, an empty book, because of the new life she's going to have after. Maybe, I don't know.
I like that. Very poetic, the book.
Yeah, that's very sweet.
It's interesting though, she can't pick the book based on what it looks like. She has to pick her regret.
Do you think the librarian is a kind of part of her imagination, or where did the librarian come from?
Well, she was an actual librarian in her elementary school, no?
I think so.
I think it's because it's someone who guided her a little bit or supported her.
Because she was the one that told her her dad died. Right? Yeah.
So she's like a parent figure to her, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe, did she enjoy reading? Maybe she went there a lot. I mean, I guess, I don't know.
The philosophy part.
Yeah.
I think they said she didn't have many friends. Like the librarian was more of a friend than anyone else.
Oh.
Did anyone hang out in the library in high school?
Yes. I had a whole section that I like to go to.
I did too sometimes.
My librarian in high school, and no one felt bad because no one liked him because he smelled really bad.
Oh.
But I didn't really go in the library because they they didn't want us in the library, so they closed off sections so we couldn't sit there.
Oh, that's weird. I wasn't at the library for my high school. I was in a classroom.
Yeah. Our library was kind of small.
It was kind of lame.
I feel like I went once, but yeah. In classroom. That was a thing.
Yeah.
In classrooms.
I didn't go for fun, which is really odd.
To the library?
I like to read.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't really go to the high school one.
Yeah, I guess
it was like the other way around. I was one of those
I would
that
go to the public.
Oh no. I was like one of those that like I had Avid all through high school and I never did any of my schoolwork. Instead, I always had like a different book in my hand. And the Avid teacher would always like, it's like, how come you never do your schoolwork? And I was like, like I don't care too much for it. But I always he's like, but you're always reading. And I'm just like, yeah, because I like to read. But it's like, everyone who always saw me with a book, it's like, you don't look like someone who reads. But it's like, I don't know why I had like a phase in high school where I would read like super depressing stuff. Like I read a ton of like Ellen Hopkins. I don't know if you guys heard of her, but she writes a lot of like on like drug addicts and stuff. I was like, so it's kind of super dark and depressing.
I started reading weird like witch books. I might have been middle school, I don't know.
What?
I like it's a bib maybe that your Harry Potter bib or pop.
Oh yeah.
That's cute.
That's cute.
Oh,
yeah, they're so cute. I found them on Amazon.
Oh, that's so cute.
There was like unicorn or Harry Potter. I'm like, oh. Yeah. I wonder like So after, like, I assume she's gonna go through like a few regrets and like probably not like her life. So then will she regret like overdosing and then wind up in her life again? And I don't know.
I'm looking at the front cover more closely, and I see it's like all these little different windows, which might be like the pages of a book, and they have different things. Like in some, she's walking towards some arms, then away from some arms. Then there's one of a plane, a microphone, a cat, like swimming, then mountains, a chess piece, a whale, and a car, and some mountains. So I wonder if those will be the different sections. Maybe like
Wales, Australia.
the top, yeah, the top left where she's walking into some arms. Maybe she was trying to walk back into Dan's arms and that didn't work out. So I wonder what we will get next.
I almost have a feeling that this is almost like closure for her. What if like she already overdosed and she's dying, but it's like this is a way for her to move on so that her like spirit doesn't linger. Like she gets closure with all her regrets so that she finds peace to move on.
That's a good one.
Like in death.
Yeah. Wow.
You know?
I think that might be it.
Because she's already like they haven't mentioned that her pumping the pills out of her. Like, you know, she's obviously in some deep sleep.
So she'll get a black book and the book will close on her instead of the white book with it. Because of that quote that says death comes to you. So maybe has to like, as she works her way through the pages, it will just be like, I'm here, and then it will be over.
It's like a white light and she's like, oh, your time has come.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
Yeah, like how many tries does she get? When are they like, okay, now you just gotta die now?
That's
there's all those
although it kind of reminds.
Go ahead.
It kind of. Do you guys watch Grey's Anatomy? At least the most recent.
Yes.
What if
Yes.
it's like that, where she's in a coma or she's not fully dead yet? Like maybe she's taken to the hospital and she's just in this little in between until she decides, you know what, my life is worth it. Let me go back.
And she fights for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense.
And the part you were saying, Crystal, about her spirit healing or finding closure, maybe she finds all her closure, and then that's when she chooses between living or dying. Like she found her peace. So what does she do next? But then at the summary in the book, it says before times ran out, she must answer the ultimate question: what is the best way to live? And I thought, made me think of after that mom canceled the piano lessons and she was walking into her apartment and the old man was just saying how it was a bad day or something, but he's like, oh, but look at the flowers. And she's like, what are you talking about, old man? Or why even bring that up?
Yeah.
I think it's because if he's like the oldest person we've encountered, that she needs to stop living in the past and her regrets and like be grateful for what she has around her in order to live the happiest life that she can.
Always look at the brighter side, right? Even though you're having a bad day. It's like, oh, look around and see the flowers. They're blooming, they're growing, they're, you know.
I like that interaction. Yeah. I like that interaction because one, she's out here deciding like, I'm already gonna go home and, you know, die. And she sees this man who's literally like at his end and he's still out here like, oh, you know what, this is pretty, this is nice, you know. And I was like, oh, like I feel like that should have helped her and be like, you know what, let's look at him, he's still trying, maybe I should, you know, continue. But
and he had the shrine to his dead wife, she said.
I know.
That's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
It's like, I want a shrine of me. I want someone to have a shrine of me. Like in Hey Arnold, like super obsessive.
Oh my god.
Like eat my old gum.
For Karina, remember we were
Love
gonna
that
make a
show.
shrine? Remember that, Karina?
When?
We said we were gonna make a shrine of all the guys we thought were hot.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it was.
Was it under the stairs? We're gonna put it.
Yeah, we never did it, but I think we were making a list. It was mostly celebrities.
Oh,
But
the
we
Ryan
never did
Gosling.
it. Yeah,
I remember.
it was funny. I don't know
That
why.
was-
I don't know how we got there, but we were like, we had a list,
Oh yeah, I remember composing the list with you.
and you hid it in one of the cabinets in the kitchen. It was hilarious. I
What
don't know
should still
why,
be
but
there?
No.
That's
No,
hilarious. Judith, I'm using my mic, by the way.
Yay!
What did you guys think about when she was first at the library and the librarian said that they're not all parallel, some are perpendicular?
Oh.
That was interesting to me.
Mm.
Because I feel like with some choices, instead of just, them all flowing together and maybe like altering your path a little bit, it's more like you make one choice and then if it's a big one, then your kind of trajectory just goes like this way instead.
Mm-hmm.
A totally different direction.
Yeah, I can see that because when she said perpendicular, I feel like that's what she meant. This parallel would be like, oh, it's similar. It's what you would expect. So I feel like there's going to be certain books where it completely switches and she's like, what in the world,
Yeah. I also was thinking about it because if you go instead of like going up and down, but if your life is going across and then you make that perpendicular like switch, you could go up, then like everything be happy, or you can go down and kind of like be sad and unhappy. And so I'm thinking like with her choices, maybe she went more like south, but maybe she'll like be north eventually.
Maybe maybe a choice that she has like somehow brings her dad like for whatever reason doesn't have his heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
Like where it's like completely shifted.
So the perpendicular books are like ones of things she hasn't even thought of, right? Like out of her wildest dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She becomes president of the United States. Like that would be a perpendicular. Is that what you guys? Because I was trying to figure out that meant, and I was just kind of, I don't know why we're talking about math right now, but.
Well, I think it just like it would pivot her life like so far from where it was when she ended it. That's kind of what I thought.
I feel like what if those big what ifs, like going to the Olympics, becoming that glaciologist, becoming, like in the band. I feel like maybe that's what it is, because if it's parallel and it's kind of the same, like they're just gonna like little changes here and there and they're never gonna really connect. But I feel like I don't know, like maybe it's completely not fully 180 but completely 90 degrees in.
Yeah, because I don't know, I'm thinking about it like a graph, but if she goes up and then she goes this way, all the other possibilities like on these other sides will close, and like the librarian was saying, there's all these variations. So if she did go the Olympic swimmer route, for example, maybe she wouldn't become a glaciologist. But yeah, and I think that kind of goes with the philosophy part of it, though. I think that's why she threw those math words in there.
The other part is what I think might be tricky is the disappointment. Like that's what sends her back. And I wonder if it's always going to be so like crystal clear to her, or maybe it will like happen suddenly. Because I think the librarian said that. But I would think it would be hard for me to be in a situation and decide if it's disappointing or not. Because I feel like in any situation, you can find some type of disappointment or some way that this might not be the life I want to live if she's going backwards.
So how much disappointment is enough, kind of?
Yeah.
Like with Dan, she was able to realize, like, you know what, this isn't it. I hate it. And she went to the restroom and she knew, she's like, I'm leaving. But I wonder if everything will be crystal clear like that. Because I feel like, I mean, obviously I've dealt with disappointments, but I feel like I kind of like, you know, I'm like, oh, this is the greatest disappointment ever. No, I don't think so. I think I lower it. So like, if there's situations where it's that bad and she just disappears, that'd be crazy.
And the fact that, let's say, like, how does she think this process is going to go? Because let's say things were better with Dan and things were going okay and she felt some type of happiness, but then she's still the lingering thought, well, I still have all these other regrets that I haven't discovered or explored yet. I'm going to leave that and see what happens if, you know, I had that time with my dad, or if I try to go to the Olympics.
It's like the fear of missing out of what she might see with the other books, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of these things, like the Olympics and with Dan, are like other people's kind of regrets. Like she didn't want to go to the Olympics. She didn't want to be in a band, it seems. So I wonder what she actually regrets, like herself.
Yeah.
That ties back to the society expectations theme that we were talking about earlier. I like it. I like how she knew all that trivia too, going back to the scene with Dan. And she was like, I know what a 20-sided polyhedron or polygon is called.
Mm-hmm.
She's very intelligent.
Yeah, she is.
I think maybe that's why because I know sometimes people who are highly intelligent and they don't find their path, or they kind of struggle a little bit more sometimes because they have these such deep thoughts. Like Emily Dickinson, Sylvia Plath, all those people who struggled a lot mentally, even though they were highly intelligent.
Right.
I feel like each of these books is gonna help her like get out of that low self-esteem and insecurity. Because like at the end of Dance, when she was like, you know what, I knew this, and I don't care if you were like gonna like humiliate me or like make fun of me. You know what? No, I know this, and like I feel like she kind of got some power in her voice, and I was like, oh, look at you. Instead of like holding back, although she did in the beginning, but towards the end she's like, no, I'm gonna be me. It's kind of nice.
She even told him off, like, you know what, without me, you were calling me, telling me you missed my voice, like this and that. And she's like, and then she's like, and you're shitty. Like, even though, like, you know, like she kind of compared the two, like, without me you were miserable, with me you're miserable. Like
that's just
yeah,
you'll remain miserable.
Yeah,
he just seems miserable.
So don't get married. Just kidding.
Yeah, I feel
be like, too late.
Oh yeah, too late for Julie.
Don't give an alcoholic a bar.
There you go.
True. Yep. Do not get a pub.
Yeah, I feel like the book's really gonna talk about what truly brings you happiness, right? Because she's gonna have to examine it. And I forgot what else I was going to say.
Is it one of those days that we're all kind of just like, what was it saying?
It's been one of those weeks for me. So. What truly brings happiness? Yeah, because even if you're smart or if you're, you know, beautiful or you have a lot of money or something, that doesn't mean you're going to be happy. Oh, I remember now. I wonder, I don't know if I'm reading into it too much, but you know how the shelves were moving when she's, deciding what she's going to do, or the librarians moving them around.
Yeah.
But the shelves hold the books, so I was wondering if it's kind of like a metaphor for in life there's some opportunities, but if you don't get them, they're gonna like keep moving and then they're gone. So that was interesting, but I could be reading into it too much.
But like if some way, like that was her mind. Like she was thinking about like Dan, so all the ones that had Dan were switching in front of her, and the other ones were like leaving.
They're categorized.
Yeah, depending on like what she's thinking, because obviously the librarian was not Mrs. Elm, but she felt like it was, because I feel like that connection she had with her, she wanted it for her to be Mrs. Elm. So I think all this is in her head. All this is like her
imagination.
Yeah, her imagination.
Her brain.
I wonder if there will be more memories with Dan, because she chose that one specifically. It's not like she said, I regret leaving Dan. She regretted not creating this business with him and supporting him.
That's what I was thinking too. She specifically said the pug. And I feel like there could be, because there's so many options. Like it could be like, yeah, I married Dan, but I don't, like they don't decide to do that. Or maybe he does. Or, like a different thing, like maybe a restaurant instead of a pub. So then it's not fully just his dream, but somehow she's able to kind of like compromise and do a different thing together. I feel like he'll come back. I hope not an asshole like this one. Maybe.
Yeah, there's definitely
enough for him to kick him in the balls for having an affair.
So next section will be, wait, what page number was the last one you guys read? Are we on the
60?
same page?
60.
Yeah.
60?
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then the next one is you stop at 117. So you read one that's called System Error. You don't read Svalbard. I don't know what that is. Svalbard.
So we stop there?
Yeah, don't read that.
Okay. So about 60 more pages.
It's like 57 and 60 depending on where the next section comes off.
Okay, sounds good.
Yay. I'm actually really excited for this book. I'm really liking it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I had it on my list to read before, so I'm glad we're reading it.
I think it's
nicely chunked up for us.
There's a book club approved sticker on it.
So yeah, the Good Morning America.
Yeah. I bought another one of Reese's book club books over on Friday to celebrate my grant.
Oh, nice. Which one?
I'll go bring it. It's one that I've been seeing that I'm intrigued by. I might propose it for the next one, but it's a little bit longer, so I'm not sure.
Do it. We'll just extend it. We can do like a month and a half, like we did with the show.
We could, because June will be, this is the May one. So June will be our 1 year.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
I know. Isn't it crazy?
12 books.
1 year. 1 year.
Has it already been? Oh my God, where has time gone? We should have a little birthday. For the
When did you start the Instagram? Was it right away or later?
So
no.
The Instagram actually would be the 1 year, because the book club started, I think it started right away. let me see. It was at the end of our first book. Because Vanished in Half, I think, was our first one. Oh, no, it wasn't.
The Guardian.
The Guardian.
Guardian was our first one. So maybe our 1 year is in May.
It might be. Because we were in quarantine, so all time was a blur for me then. Let me look.
So Judith, are we not counting?
No, but weren't we
American Dirt?
reading the
We're not
Guardian?
considering our first 4 months together.
So technically, it would have been what, March? February?
Yeah. Now that one doesn't count. That was
No.
just when we were brainstorming.
That was just us two.
Hey, but that's where it birthed, on my couch at my first apartment. The name. We were sitting there trying to birth this name for this club.
Yeah. Oh man, we were eating The Habit, and we were like,
yeah,
what are we gonna name it?
Shirts or the stickers or whatever.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna happen. You know what? I have a thing for some dad hats that I wanted to do back like 6 months ago.
Yeah,
that's a really good name. You guys did a good job.
Yeah, we should think of something.
That'd be cool.
Maybe we can put a picture of all the books we read stacked, and like who chose them or something, like on the side, or like, you know how like the Goodreads does my year in books or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like our year in books.
Oh, that'd be cute, but like physical, like
something like or some, I don't know. I could think.
Oh yeah, anyone has all the books.
I just gave one away.
Katie might have them all, I think.
Just go to Barnes and Noble and pick them off the shelf, take a picture, and put them back.
Oh my god, that would be a lot of effort.
Yeah, because I think I gave one away too, but I think I have bought in most of them as well. I don't think I bought my Dark Vanessa, actually. I think that one I did manage to get from the library.
I accidentally stole, but
I don't remember though.
Barnes and Noble once.
Accidentally.
I'm sure, Katie.
And it was okay, so we were doing a group project on Hamlet, and I mean, we don't know what that man's saying, so we have the No Fear Shakespeare, and we each I had my own copy, and then one other of my group members had their own copy, and then the two others didn't, so they just went and grabbed the Barnes and Noble copies, and then I don't think I ever actually took my copy out of my bag, but I didn't register, and then I never did, so I just took one of them off the table and left because I thought it was mine. Then I got home, and then I had 2 copies, and then I was in high school, so it's like I can't bring this back and tell them what I did, and I can't go back through the security with it because what if it dings?
Oh yeah.
But
I did eventually donate it, so
that's good.
Yeah, so we did start in June because I ended up writing it down, all the little stuff, but I didn't include the Guardian because I guess I forgot it on Instagram. But that was June, and July was the Vanished in Half. So June is still our 1 year. And
1 year anniversary.
How exciting!
And I already have on my bookcase. That's why I want to go take a picture of. I don't know if you can see the book.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. Those are all the ones. I think they're in order. Not quite sure. But yeah.
I like it.
Perfect.
We've covered a lot of genres.
Yeah.
Sci-fi, I guess.
How emotional. Oh my god.
So you're like
I mean, honestly, I don't think we would have been able to do this if it wasn't for the pandemic and like video calling becoming such a big thing. Because like when me and Judith first started, it was like we were meeting up in person, right? Like in person to do our meeting.
Yeah.
We needed a more connection too, I think, is what I don't know, at least for me, I was like, this is perfect because like living by myself, especially up on the hill. I'm just like, oh, this is interesting. I know I'm an introvert, but maybe it was too much.
You need that interaction, that communication, honestly. Even though we're not like in person, but I feel like you do need to talk to people. And I feel like I was missing that because even at work, I'm not really talking. I'm just typing. I'm here and there. I talk to the doctors or I talk to the nurses, but it's I feel like I needed to talk to people.
Yeah, it's needed.
Like this is definitely something I'd want to continue to do for like years and years to come, you know? Where it's like, and luckily we're able to do it because Zoom is now like, we don't all have to be in the same location. We're all like miles and miles away from each other.
Yeah.
Like all spread out.
Yeah, and I like how we chunk, just read like a chunk of the book, so we can like better retain it and talk about it.
Yeah, because I think
rather than
what movie? There's a book club movie that we mentioned way back in the beginning, and I watched it, and they would meet up like I think once a month, and they would read the whole book. And I'm like, that's it's tough to just be like, oh, this is what I liked, this is what I didn't like. And like I feel like you don't enjoy the book as much, or you don't get to like break it down.
You don't analyze it as far, like breaking it up into smaller pieces. It's kind of like you're able to like, you don't overlook small little details.
Yeah.
I think the discussion would be hard because maybe someone would like talk about the end of the book and someone's talking about the beginning of the book. And it's too difficult to.
Yeah, I noticed at the first meetings we would kind of go more chronologically, but now I think we have a pretty good flow, and I like that too. I like it.
I'm grateful for you guys.
I'm grateful for you all as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
This has kept me sane. Like,
and
really.
we respect our founders, Judith and Crystal, the founders of the
Mostly
great.
Judith. I feel like Judith puts in a lot more work than I literally just like showed up.
Yeah, thank you Judith, for everything you do.
Oh, I'm gonna start crying. I've been emotional this whole week. I'm gonna start crying. Just kidding. Well, thank you for being with me and actually trying to read these books, because I feel like I never thought people would actually join, even though it's like close friends. And like, I mean, Julie, I've met you before, and like even Claudia, but it's kind of nice to be like, now it's a closer group, and I feel like I have a better connection with everyone.
Yeah, we're learning more about each other.
I feel like I was kind of a stranger. I'm kind of like the only one that didn't go to the same school. I'm kind of was like, like I kind of just popped up.
You're not the only one. The Cal Poly clan.
Yeah, I'm part of the clan, but I didn't go there.
Me neither.
I'm the wannabe Cal Poly.
We went by default.
Yeah.
Like I
have
feel
like more
I mean,
Cal Poly gear than my actual university.
what was it? I went to Starbucks the other day and I was wearing, so Luis was really funny. He had bought in a Cal Poly sweater that he like thought was really cool. Turns out it was a woman's sweater. And he only realized that because there was like a little thing, like the little logo of the sweater was pink. And I was like, that's a girl's sweater. And he's like, no, it's not. Like, if it's fine. And I was like, no, that's a girl's sweater. So he ended up giving it to me. And I was wearing it the other day to Starbucks. And the girl, that's like not the first time that someone notices, but she asked me like, oh, did you go to Cal Poly? And I was like, no. But he did. So I was like, I have quite a bit of sweaters. Because I'm like, pretend like I go.
Rico did that too.
Yeah, I have a lot of t-shirts. And yeah, my husband, they always like comment when he wears his like running. And, there's a lot of people that went there.
For sure. Yeah, Rico did that too.
He bought a
Have unisex clothing because
Wait, I have to. I'll tell the story really quick. It was when he lived in PCB, and I went to visit, and he was all excited because he had bought in or purchased this compression shirt for workouts, and he put it on and it him hella tight. And I was like looking at it, and I was just like, wait a minute, I don't think this is a boy's, compression workout shirt. I think it's a girl shirt. And so then I looked at the tag and it said women's, and I'm like, thanks, it's for me.
It's like they don't really look at the labels, right?
They clearly don't. That's so funny.
Speaking of the sweater, I actually have it right here. Watch, does it say it on the inside?
I've seen girls wear that.
It doesn't say it inside,
I can tell.
but there's this little
that
pink.
happen.
It's like, it's pink.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, that's a girl's sweater.
I thought you were about to be murdered, Crystal, because you're moving your camera, and in your closet there's a jacket that looks like a person.
Oh my god.
I have my curtains open. Now I'm like,
I don't mean to scare you.
Do you ever think about that? When like you're sitting down and your camera's facing you, but like my fear is that I'll see a face in the window behind me.
Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about my window.
Yeah.
Ground level. Anyone could pop their head in.
That's scary.
Okay, well, I gotta go eat because I'm starving. But I'll see you guys next Sunday, same time.
Good night.
Good night,
Can't wait what
everyone.
book we encounter. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Good night.